Viewer discretion is advised. Anybody that's listening to this, watching this, or is going to watch this in the future, please understand we are not trained medical technicians, nor do we give a fuck about health. Hence the name Three Drunks in a Bottle.
All right, so welcome back to another episode of Three Drunks in a Bottle. I'm BB.
I'm Hunter.
This is Lip.
We got a special guest tonight. Oh, Memphis Ripley, aka Danny. Welcome here.
Glad to be here, fellas.
We appreciate you hosting
Howdy.
this and letting us come out to your house. So we're having another traveling podcast.
Excited
tonight.
about it.
Yeah. No green screen tonight.
No green screen. What bottle did you pick?
This is Maker's Mark. This is just a regular Maker's 90 proof.
Gonna be a good bottle.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and crack her open. We're gonna take a shot of it. We don't need shot glasses. We're good. Maybe I guess we do need shot glasses.
You don't.
I'll pour it in the cup. Come on, I guess. Give me the shot glasses.
He's like, the last time you gave me a shot, we ended up doing a double shot.
Just eyeball it in.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna do.
It was real skinny, but it was taller. I was like, bro, I think that's a double shot. So my Moscow had 4 shots
I'll
in
let you
it
pour your
instead of
own.
2, because they usually put 1, but it was 2 of these, and then 2 more. I had a total of 4 shots.
Yeah,
See, that's like that almost looks like a shot and a half. Donald. Yeah. Never mind. There you go. I got mine.
Got your Trump shooter.
Greatest shot glass ever.
Trump
Greatest
shooter.
shot glass ever. The greatest.
Pour your shot. Damn third drunk.
we just started this,
We
too.
just started.
Honestly, I forgot. Sorry.
That's a big old shot, bro.
Is it?
That's his shot glass.
The rest of us kind of. Yeah.
What's yours look like? His
I'm
looks
curious.
his looks exactly like mine. Well, it was an illusion.
So we're gonna take this shot and then we're gonna talk about some drunken stories. You got any that the statutes and limitations have ran out that you can talk about?
Man, I done forgot more than y'all ever had to begin with.
Good
Well,
deal.
we can talk about it.
Skull.
Cheers. Smooth.
I mean,
yeah.
it's typical Makers for you. It just goes down easy.
Smooth drinking whiskey right there. So what you got? What's a good drunk story that say I've never heard? Tell one that you don't think I've heard.
Okay. Probably have to be going way back. So this is, say, me and my buddies that I hung out with probably before I got married. Buddy of mine, he's not alive anymore. His name was Eldon Mason. Or Eldon Dodson. He would rather be called Eldon Dodson, I tell you that. He took on his last name of his stepdad before his mama passed away, and I think he regretted doing that. But anyways, he could drink probably more than anybody I've ever met in my life. And he would like to drink Everclear.
I remember you telling me about
He
this
would
guy.
chase it with Bud Light.
Excuse me,
Yeah. Okay.
ma'am, ma'am.
He would drink Everclear, and he would get mezcal tequila with the worm in it, and chase it with Bud Light. He'd buy a 50 mezcal and a 12-pack of Bud Light, and he would finish them both before the night was over with by himself. And he would do this. He'd buy a pint of Everclear, and I remember at one night he had bought a pint of Everclear and a 12-pack of Bud Light, and we went out to a friend's of ours place. He finished that pint and he wanted to go back to the store and get another. He was still drinking on that 12-pack of Bud Light too. We got back from the store or whatever, and he was pretty lit up. He ended up tripping on the sidewalk, and he fell face first into the curb. And when he opened his mouth, his teeth looked like a broken windshield, like a busted windshield. It messed up his lip and everything, and that was a pretty drunken.
So he was curb stomped, but he was the only party.
That's right.
He was the only party there. Like
That's right. I was just drinking beer that night, you know.
he told someone else's drunken story.
He was
Right.
6'3".
He just started from an innocent bystander's point.
He was pretty tall. He was 6'2", every bit of 6'2".
Oh wow! I was just pulling that out of the hat. Wow.
Yeah. Big old
That's
dude.
probably why it freaking hurt. So how many teeth did he lose?
I think he ever lost any. He did get them fixed. He got them. I think he got crowns put on. Pretty sure. I mean, this has been over 30 years ago. So
Yeah.
Well, you got one for tonight that you want to tell? We'll just go in order. 3, 2, 1.
I don't know. I'll listen to y'all. See what I
Go pass it on to me. Okay. So a good one that I remember was one time when I was in Sturgis, doing the motorcycle rally. We all went out to one of these little bars. It was towards the very end of it, and we were just out there celebrating and stuff. Well, we get to this one bar. It's like crowded with a whole bunch of people, not necessarily bikers, but just crowded in general, just regular people, like maybe just people that were in that town for the moment. But yeah, we had been drinking for a good minute, and there was like commotion going on. We couldn't figure out what was happening because it was like from across the room, but we can hear the commotion. So we're like, something's going on. You see people start heading out, like outside. So we're like, okay. And then nearly about half the bar had got up and left. So we go up and we're going to go check on them. There's everybody out in the sidewalk just fighting. We don't know what happened. We just know that everyone's out there right then just fighting. And we're like, okay, do we go back to the bar? Well, the bartender and stuff, they shut it down. They're like, all right, everybody out. Y'all keep going, no coming back. So we had to try to work our way through this fight because we try not to be in it, but we were securities. We're not on the clock or anything. So we're like, okay, get us out of here. Like, let's go. Sure enough, cops are coming and stuff, and they try to split up the best they could. Now, a lot of us were just kind of like walking. A lot of people, they ran, but we got caught in like a little aftermath. So as we were heading out, the cops stopped us. They're like, whoa, where y'all going? So we had to tell them hey, it wasn't us. Like, we don't even know the people that did it, but we're just trying to get out of this bar. And we had lost one of our friends because the cops had let us go. And we're like, where's our friend at? So we had to spend the rest of the night trying to go find him. Apparently he got too drunk and he didn't know where he was at. So he dipped away from the cops, got stuck in the alleyway and just got lost and forgot he had his phone and he didn't call us or anything. So we had to go pretty much find him. So we spent the rest of the night looking for him. But I mean,
Damn, son.
So was this in Memphis?
I don't know. his
This
looks
was out
pretty
in South Dakota. This was during the motorcycle ride.
Sturgis, South Dakota.
Yep.
So he didn't know where he was at.
No. I mean, like I said, we were pretty messed up because I know I was feeling it, and he drank a lot more than us. So yeah, when he got out there, he got lost, and he was just getting tired. As time progressed. But yeah, like I said, he forgot that he had his phone, that he could have called us or something, or sent us a message, but did not think of it. He was just walking. When we picked him up,
He was probably scared.
I mean, this was a big guy. Like, I wouldn't say he was scared, but he would probably want to get home, at least find
Freaked out
somebody.
a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, we pulled up in the car, and we were like, "Is that him?" We opened the door, like, "Yeah, that's him." He's like, "All right, move over." He just sat down next to us. He was worn out. Yep.
So, I'm going to reiterate on one that I've already told before, since we actually have the person that was there the night that it happened. They were just talking on the sideline before we started tonight, and was actually talking about Danny's point of view of it. So, I was over at Danny's house one night, and I'm telling kind of my side, and he kind of say if I'm right or wrong or whatever. We're over at his house, and me and him were sitting out by a fire,
Drinking moonshine.
drinking moonshine,
Good old days, huh?
moonshine and beer. And I decided, I guess I was gonna throw a temper tantrum, and threw one of his plastic lawn chairs.
Do you even remember
I don't
doing that?
remember doing that.
Okay.
I'm just telling the part that you said happened.
Right. Yeah, you picked the chair up and you threw it down on the ground and it broke. And I'm like, dude, what the hell?
I like this.
I mean,
we
I-
got
I-
both sides.
Yeah, that's
wasn't-
why I was like, let's reiterate it.
I didn't yell at you or anything. I'm just like, what the hell? And you gave me a crazy look. And you didn't say anything. No words come out of your mouth.
You good, cuz? Like, you good?
Pretty much.
And from there, you went and got on that 4-wheeler and took off. I went inside after that, I just
So I rode my damn 4-wheeler. He had a track pretty much kind of around his property.
There was a trail going all the way around. It was a 20-acre property. And there's a trail going all the way around. And the property was more in a rectangle shape. And the trail went all the way around it. And he got out there on the trail. I guess he got stupid.
I did a couple good laps, and then I do remember wrecking. Dude, I was on probably my third lap around, and there's the straightaway, and I just laid into it. And I looked down to grab my beer and looked back up. And the next thing I know is I'm coming over the handlebars. I done hit this fucking tree hard and come over the handlebars. And I remember fuck, this hurts. But getting back on the 4-wheeler, going home and parking it.
Nothing broke though, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that he had wrecked or had an accident until the next day. I got up pretty early. I didn't stay up drinking all night. And I got up pretty early, and I was gonna take my dogs for a walk. I'd take them for a walk around this trail every day. Every day we would go for a walk, and and this was on the front side of the property, off in the corner, and this was probably the furthest away from the house where I was living at, from where you could be on the property. And I'm walking down the trail, and I see the beer can out in the middle of the trail. I pick it up, and it was standing straight up, and it was full. Like he had just set it down right there and not done anything with it. But it was hot, so I went ahead and poured it out, and I got to looking, and I could see that the ground was kind of messed up right there. And I looked over at this tree, and I seen the scuff marks on the tree. I'm like, he wrecked this 4-wheeler. And when I made it back to the house, I looked at the 4-wheeler and seen the bumper was all bent up on it and stuff. And
If it wasn't for that push bar on it, yeah, it probably would have been a lot
I
worse.
had to give him a hard time.
I come outside about the time I guess he was looking at it, because I remember going outside. He's like, "Hey, come here." He's like, "Come look at what you did to your 4-wheeler, dumbass."
You good?
He was like, I was so mad at you this morning. He was like, I saw that beer can and he was like, I was just pissed. Like, you threw your fucking beer can in my yard.
It's alcohol abuse. That was a whole beer.
And then he was like, but then I wasn't as pissed. I picked it up and it was full. And he was like, that's not like him to have a fucking full beer.
That's true though.
Hey, this one's smooth, guys. This one's really nice. I like the ginger ale with it.
Did we say what we're
it
mixing
did
this
say
with?
It's- and
We
I
have
do
not-
like ginger beer too.
I was just about to say, it
but-
said something about a Kentucky mule would be excellent with it. Like it's
You know,
great with it.
I like ginger beer and making a mule out
What is
of it.
with
but-
you and
but
all these
that's-
different mules, bro?
I just discovered it today. I researched
Him
it
and all
before I
these
come on here,
mules.
bro.
Moscow mules are
gotta
good.
drink that
mule,
out of
well, it wasn't
copper.
a Moscow mule he had.
That's what I had. Yeah,
But that's what it
I had
started,
was
though.
copper.
What did he?
Yeah,
What was
that
it
was
you
in the
made
last
last weekend? It wasn't a Moscow mule.
Yeah,
What'd you call
I
it?
didn't call it a Moscow mule. I called it a Warsaw
Yeah.
mule. Because the guy at the liquor store, he was all like, "You really want to call it a Moscow mule?" No, after the Russians, what they did. I was like, "Yeah, okay." And then like I got Polish vodka, Belvedere. So it was I got the capital of Poland, and I said a Warsaw mule. But then I come to find out, you know, it wasn't even made in Russia. They just took. It was in New York, started over there, and then it got really big in Los Angeles. And what it was is there was the guy that started getting the rights to Smirnoff. He was right beside a Cock and Bull like factory like shop, and so they were like, "Dude, we need to make a drink." What they did because they did that. They added a little bit of lime and they put it in the copper mug so it stayed frosty. And
Right.
it had that propaganda selling in itself that. There you go. There you got a nice frosty copper mug, and it's one of the most popular drinks. So, but.
Well, we're gonna move over to some general conversation at this point. Got a couple of questions for you.
I'm ready for it.
We're gonna go ahead.
I'm ready for it.
We're gonna go ahead.
I've got an answer for you, believe it or not.
We're gonna go ahead and break the ice.
Let's do this.
This is gonna be fun. So I asked
Is that why we're in the middle of this? We can separate.
Jerry.
I didn't think about that.
I have too much hair to be Steve Wilkos.
So me and Jess have been married since 2017.
All right.
Coming up, we're at 8 years of being married, 10 years being together. But I asked you twice. The first time you told me no, and Missy, I
There was
remember.
good reason for that.
I remember Missy was really upset that you said no.
There was plenty good reason for that.
So why'd you say no the first time?
Jessica was still in high school. She hadn't even graduated yet. I wanted her to focus on her school and getting out of school before you had even put anything like that into her mind. You know, and this was
What?
just
I was talking about
me being a father to her.
So I mean, I wasn't really mad at you. You said
You cried.
You said yeah the second.
cried.
You said yeah. So you said yes the second time. I mean,
You cried. when I told you that.
our relationship was not the best at that point either. Like, you really did want me around.
I'm not saying I didn't want you around. I tolerated you.
As you drinking with that,
Yeah, our relationship's gotten a lot better. So the second question, similar to it, is you have told me before that you think I tricked you into us getting married. You said you were tricked. Why do you feel that way?
I don't know that I feel that way. So
Did he not used to say that?
At what point
we
did
got a
that
producer
change?
back
At
there.
what point did that change?
When we become friends?
he's proved himself to me, and he's a good guy. So.
We've had some rough times, but we've had some really great times too. Like, me and him used to bicker all the fucking time, and then one night Missy
Roxon's a little bitch. He likes to. He's just a drama queen. You know, likes to draw out everything. You know, I'm not that big on drama.
I feel like El Poly right now.
Dude's nailing it right
I feel
now.
like El Poly right now.
He's got it.
Well, we ended up like the girls wanted us to start getting along. They were like, y'all have to start getting along. So, me and Danny just one day we were hanging out and was like, you know what, fuck it, we'll get along. That's what they want.
And it almost came to that. I'm ready for it. I don't know whether he was.
Dude, if you don't remember, we tried to go out. We tried to go out in the front yard a couple times, like just to wrestle, not even fucking fight. We were just gonna wrestle. And they were like, no,
Get it out.
no, one of you's gonna get hurt. One of you's gonna get hurt. No.
So what happens? Did y'all like crack a bottle open?
Well, yeah, it was something of that nature. Is that I think alcohol did play a factor in like us starting to get along. And then we turned our attention to them. We would pick on them being Jess and Missy. We would turn our attention to. We would because it was so easy for us to set them off, and we just would think it was like the funniest fucking thing that we could set them off so easy. And even to this day, we could still fucking piss them off and.
Got a couple
Half a second, and me and Danny are just going to be in the corner. The thing is if one of us is picking on one, the other's over the shoulder, like agging it on, like, "Hey, you should say this. Hey, you should do this." That happens. What was your experience with like Jamie and her mom? Because I know. There
was this one time, though, like, and I swore, like, she says that she don't hold nothing against me and shit like that. It was only Tim. It was Tim that didn't like him. It wasn't me. No, this woman, I was trying to leave that house, all right? You know, I was like, all right, I'm leaving. She's all like, no, you stay here until the cops come. And she's grabbing me, and I literally, like, just, like, looked at her and was like, like, that's all it took. Like, I didn't grab her really, like, I just plucked her arm and just, like, and then I'm trying to shut the door, and she's all, like, up in the door, like, ah! Like, wigging out and shit. And she somehow got a bruise on her arm and started saying that I grabbed her and stuff like that. And I was like, I didn't do shit.
Like I barely
all
touched
I did,
you.
like, literally, it was more like a, get off me. Like, it was hardly a grab. It was like, and I was like, there was no way I bruised you. If so, you should probably check your iron. Like, like, I don't know what happened there. Like, something happened. Like, but yeah,
I just know
she
how
apparently
her mom,
don't hold nothing against me.
I just know how her mom is, and she was always that like really overprotective. Didn't let Jamie really go anywhere to do things. So I wondered what your experience was.
For some reason, she kind of liked that she was with an older guy at first, and then she got a little weird, and then, hell, this last time we went and ate at Cracker Barrel because she works at Cracker Barrel, and she was coming up talking about like, oh yeah, I was like, I said my coffee. Oh yeah, I just put milk in it. I was like, I like my coffee like I like my women. White and stout, you know, just or some shit like that, just messing around.
Hot and black.
Or no. That's what it was. Hot and black. Jamie is
Coming
so
from
not
a guy
black.
that doesn't even fucking drink coffee. Hot and black.
But I said something, and then her mom's all like, well, you got to put sugar in it because it's sweet too. And I was just like, did she just call me sweet? That's the biggest compliment I've ever gotten from her. She said I was sweet. There ain't no way. Ma'am.
Look, be glad that Jamie's mom doesn't look anything like Jamie. Because they really don't look alike.
No. I mean, it's kind of weird. There's people that will stop her in public and be like, what are you doing here? And she's like, I'm shopping.
The worst one was me and Jess had just started dating, and Missy was standing in the kitchen at their old house, and I come up behind Missy and I said, "Hey, babe." Missy turns around. She was like, "Hey, babe." Wrong person. Like they're freaking spitting image. So imagine that one. At least I know what she's gonna look like when she's 80.
Well, when we
She's
came
80?
up, I seen Missy coming
she'll
up.
be 80 next week.
I kind of feel like I've
fireworks
seen
and all
Jess
for
doing
80.
that same kind of like little walk she was doing.
Yeah, there's
That little excited. They were like, yeah, she's pretty. I was like, yeah,
that
she's
mold was
excited.
not
Look
broken
at her.
between them two.
We're scared.
Yeah, I'm about to get Nerf gun. In the middle of a podcast, I'm about to get Nerf gun. Anyways, do you have any questions for Danny?
So,
Sorry, putting your sunglasses on.
yeah. So, you've been a fan of like Two Drunks in a Bottle. When we started out, it was just me and BB. When we added a third drunk, what did you think about us like transitioning with that?
You know, I haven't even seen any episodes with
With this guy
Cliff
right
in it.
here.
I haven't watched it since then. It was only with y'all, and I like him. He seems like a good dude.
Yeah.
He'll tell you the truth off camera here in a little while. Let the alcohol get to really flowing through those veins.
He walked out there with me and fed the fish in the pond earlier, and
You got anything else for him?
So, when you first met BB, you gave that story, right? What did you think when I first started coming around, as BB's friend? Because I know I came over. To me, it felt like almost awkward because he's like, you got to come to meet her parents and all this. I'm not in the relationship.
I didn't think, too much on Bronson's friends, and Bronson met Jessica through
Alan White.
Alan White,
Yep.
and his dad was one of my friends growing up, and I mean he's not, I haven't seen Richard in many years now, I think, and I don't know where he is or what he's doing. I hope he's doing well.
So, something you don't know is everybody sitting at this table actually knows Alan.
Went to school with him.
Yep. That was something we didn't know, and we
I hung out with him in Colonial Hills too. Yeah, I used to run around the streets with him.
yeah, we made him a third drunk, and then as we were talking one day, we were just like, you remind us of Alan, like his personality and stuff. And he's like, wait, Alan White? He's like, I know him. So it was like perfect.
We ran Colonial Hills with him too.
That's where I met Richard. I mean, his mama was my Sunday school teacher when I was
Miss Peggy.
6 years old. At Colonial Hills Church, which was on Colonial Hills Drive at the time.
His mom is one of the nicest people you ever meet.
now, right?
Yep.
That's gotten a lot bigger now.
You got any questions for Danny?
I'm sure I'll have some developed, but so far, I mean, I've been pretty questionnaire with it, with his fish and stuff. That was
So,
pretty cool.
what do you think about his property? Because this is the first time meeting him as far as stepping on the property as well too. But what do you think about like this land and stuff?
It's just like when she brought these plates out. I knew she was going to have these plates, these little adorable plates. I was like, "What are these plates? This pie, this amazing pie." Like,
He hadn't seen all of it. He hadn't seen the backside.
I believe it.
but just seeing it, I was like, "I know she's going to have little plates." Like, it was expected because I'm like,
He hadn't got
"Oh,
to see
yeah,
building
we out
ones
in the
or
country.
four
We out in
either
the
yet.
country." I grew
We
up
got
in
home
Eudora,
base.
so
This is home base right here. And you got building 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I got 3 barns and a garage.
I was a casino baby. Let's put it like that. I grew up in Kids Quest and Grand Casino.
I was there
Gold
for a long
Strike,
time
Horseshoe.
too. We used to go to Kids Quest
Yeah.
just about every weekend.
Because my dad was a security guard at Gold Strike. I missed the buffets there. And then my mom worked the floor at Horseshoe. And what's crazy is I now cut those. I cut them every week, once a week. And I do First Jackpot. And I do Landers and I do Northwest Drive off State Line.
Got you.
So Chandler's. We do all around maintenance, do the spraying
Maple,
of the
like
beds.
the con.
I used to work for Turf Pro, and I used to actually spray grass and do that stuff. But you said your neighbor has 10 acres. How many acres do you have there?
This is 7 acres right
7
here.
acres. So you got some woods too, then.
Right. And this was a 10-acre property when it was purchased, but there's 2 houses on this property now.
That with that though,
And
it's like
it-
takes
it
away
was family owned.
the heat. Takes away the heat.
At one time. Now my neighbor next door is still part of that family that owned this property, but the people that lived right here on this property, the man has passed, but the woman is in a assisted living home right now. She's 99 years old, I think, and still alive.
Oh, is she that old? I didn't
Yes.
realize she was that old.
She was 96 when we purchased this property.
I thought she was in her 80s. I didn't realize she was in her 90s.
Yes.
Dang.
She's gonna be 100.
Yeah.
It was like I told you, she couldn't take care of it
He's about to be
anymore.
a
So-
From what,
100, man.
from what I understand, still got some spunk in her.
That was the one with all the cats and stuff too, right?
She's looking
was
forward to
next
that
door.
century.
Next door. Okay.
Yeah,
She's looking
there's
forward to the century.
Oh, you're talking about the owner of this house.
Now,
she's still alive in the assisted living.
my next door neighbor. She's come down with Alzheimer's, and she had to move in with her granddaughter. And
Okay.
since she has done that, the cats are not around anymore. We've
Okay.
got 2 cats that I see every now and then.
Just kind of roaming.
Yeah.
Well, they had to find somewhere for food. They lost their food source. So
Like I said, roaming. They're just doing their thing.
I'm sure someone's feeding them.
Or they're
I know
flying
that
their
one
own.
cat, I see it across the street a lot, but it comes over here, and every now and then my dogs will tree on it.
Mm-hmm. Now, for people that are watching that don't understand what that means, what would you say is the best definition for that? Like tree.
They'll run it up a tree, and then they'll stand up, pawing at the tree and barking straight up. My dogs are treeing dogs. They're made for hunting.
Now, I've been out there several times with you and the dogs and stuff, and they get at it. Squirrel hunting is, that's what I remember.
Anything that runs up a tree, it's got hair on its back.
So you just said something about a squirrel. That reminded me. I was in Tunica. Y'all ever seen a squirrel with melanin? A black squirrel?
Yes.
This sucker was like this freaking long, and I was like,
We've seen solid
was
white
that a
ones. We've seen
freaking
albino ones.
That's cool. But a black one, I had never seen.
Yeah, the first black squirrel I seen was in Yazoo, Mississippi, and this was close to the Yazoo River, over close to Panther Swamp. And yeah, they told me that the squirrels there were black. And
So maybe it's just something that's kind of.
well, a black squirrel is actually a fox squirrel that has, like you said, a melanin. The melanin is darker in them, and most fox squirrels, like the ones that we hunt over around Ashland, Mississippi, they have that white nose, and then they'll have white feet. You see one hopping across the ground over there, it looks like they got a golf ball in their mouth because that white nose on them. But it's the same thing, and I remember seeing one down at Tunica Cutoff, which ain't too far from where the casinos are. I had my granddaddy's place over there, and it had 4 white socks that went up to its elbows, and it had a solid white tail. His whole tail was solid white, but the rest of the squirrel was red.
That's cool.
Yeah. And he had squirrel feeders out. He would put shelled pecans off into his squirrel feeders. And they would have to crawl up on the tree. They were nailed to a tree, and they had a little lid on them. And the squirrel would have to pick that lid up, and they could go off inside. And you'd see just the tail hanging out of the feeder itself.
And that's what traditionally a fox squirrel would probably look like. It's that red body with the white tail.
Yeah, they're red bodied, and they got an orange belly.
Just that black one just gets
Right.
that melanin and just.
Gray squirrel is gray on top. Sometimes you might see a little reddish hair off in them with a white belly.
Hunting with them dogs though, that's a cool experience. Like being able to hunt with those dogs. I know you've got probably thousands of squirrels under your belt probably at this point. With your gun lasered squirrel slayer on the side of your 22, you've done a lot of work to it. But them dogs have put in some work.
Yeah.
On some squirrels. Them dogs love working. We've had some fun kills to where like someone had a shotgun, one of us had a 22, and we're chasing a damn squirrel, and it's hopping tree to tree, and fucking just taking turns, pop, pop, and just chasing that entire fucking squirrel. Like that's probably some of the funnest hunting that I've ever done. Is going squirrel hunting, whether it's with him or Buckle or whatever. Super fun experience because you don't have to be quiet. Y'all are just sitting there bullshitting, and your dogs do the work. You just listen for that loud bark, and they'll let you know. Like he can tell when his dog is being serious.
They'll catch the scent of the squirrel up in the tree. The squirrel, I mean, even being on the ground, they'll they'll find the scent on the ground, but even a layup squirrel that hadn't been down all day, they'll catch that scent as well. And once they start get on a tree, and we'll be standing straight up under a tree, and we use binoculars to look up in the tree because
we don't use binoculars. I use a binocular.
Yeah, he uses a monocular. I use binocular.
Well, why is that?
But
I actually haven't got to use my binocular much, but
squirrels blend in so well.
They do.
And
we've got some rough ones.
And you're looking up in the tree, and it depends on whether you got a blue sky or a cloudy sky or however it is. A little bit of wind helps too because you can see that fur move on their back a little bit. But they sit still and they'll get right off in the V of the tree, and you can't tell they're up there. You put that binoculars on them, and you can zoom in and see them. You can throw the scope on and put a bullet in their ass.
Well, what was it? It was your daddy said that when they would go hunting, that their daddy didn't want a headshot.
No, because he liked to eat the brains.
Because he liked the brains.
Which the brains are pretty good. You take a spoon, you pop that head, you pull the top of that skull off, and you can dig your brains right out of it. Tasty morsel.
What would you say has probably been like the coolest hunting experience, like trip or whatever that you've done? What was like the most adrenaline that you've had?
Turkey hunting.
So
turkey hunting, calling to the birds, hearing the birds gobble.
Well, can you remember like a specific hunt that was just like
all of them?
There's one that was just like sticks out to you.
All right, so my first turkey, and this was in 2001. This was over in Ashland on my buddy K-Wag's place.
We're eventually gonna have him on here.
And,
I've heard the name, yeah.
So I went over there for a weekend. It was opening weekend of turkey season. And this was before the pines grew up on that place. And you've seen it. And walk up to the top of the hill from the cabin. You can look down across that whole bottom. You could see everything. There wasn't no pines there. The pines were short. Not like it is now where the pines are 30 foot, 40 foot tall. You can't see anything through there. But that first morning, we went out, which we woke up that morning and we were kind of sluggish. We'd done been drinking that night. And I had to go to the bathroom. My stomach was kind of hurting me a little bit. And went in the bathroom and doing my thing, and I remember K-Wag coming back in the door. He said, "Pinch it off. He's back here behind the cabin gobbling. Pinch it off." He kept yelling, "Pinch it off." And so I got done. I walked out there. We heard it. He wanted to know what I thought was the best way to get to that turkey. And I told him we need to go over to the food plot, which was we had to walk across the field and go down a trail and get through to the food plot. And there was a trail from there that went down off into the bottom. We had a deer stand down in that trail. I said, we need to make our way and we need to get down there close to that box stand before we start trying to call. Because I think he's going to come right up that trail if we try to call. The turkey's going to find his best, easiest route. They're going to pick the easiest way. Same way with a deer, any kind of critter. They're going to find the easiest route to try to get to you. And we were on the uphill side, which was at our advantage, because you can't call a turkey downhill. But we got down there. The bird was still down there in the bottom. We knew it was thick cover right there, and we weren't going to get busted. We set up. I had a decoy. We had an inflatable decoy, and I inflated the decoy and went down there and I set it up right there close to that box stand, and we moved up the hill from it and started calling. Well, the bird started immediately just hammering, gobbling, and we could see movement coming up through the woods, but we couldn't see the bird really. We knew it was coming because we could hear it gobbling. And I mean, it was just steady. He was just hammering. And it got up there around that box stand, and the box stand was kind of in a curve, and it would like show itself and move back out of the way. And then I started hearing the turkey make it was the weirdest noise I've ever heard in my life with like clucks, and it wasn't a gobble noise. It was different. And then I heard some noise behind us. And that's what this turkey was alarming us to, was the noise that was behind us. And looked back, and it was 6 wild dogs coming down the hill, coming towards that turkey gobble. And we didn't kill the turkey that day because of those dogs. But as soon as we turned around and stood up, the dogs turned around and took off.
Wow. The wild dogs are a problem down there.
And,
Yeah.
So, okay, and this was a Saturday morning, and we still had Sunday to hunt. And so the next morning, we got up, walked out of the cabin. We didn't hear any gobbling that morning. We walked up to the top of the hill, and K-Wag's like, let me go to the top of this hill. And he just kind of peeked over the hill, and he ducked back down, and he just kind of give me the beard symbol, like it was a long beard standing down there at the top of the hill. So we thought we were going to catch him coming around the side of that hill, and we went over there, and there wasn't a stand there at the time. It was where that ladder stand I killed Butterball in.
Oh yeah.
And
old Butterball.
but we set up right there and started calling. And when we called, we could hear the turkey who had already made it up over that next hill. And he gobbled up over there. And so we got up over that next hill, and it dropped off into a big bottom. Just running water just pouring out of the hills over there everywhere. That turkey had to cross this creek, and he had just acquired this 60 acres that was over there the day before this hunt.
Huh.
And we got over there and found a little spot. It was a little field to set up in. Turkey had done made it over onto another property that we couldn't hunt on. So I set my decoys out into this field on that 60 acres he had just acquired, and I just made a few calls, a few small calls, clucks and yelps, and it didn't take no time. We seen this turkey walk up along the barbed wire fence. I'm like, man, he's not gonna cross that barbed wire fence and come back to us. The turkey ducked up under that barbed wire fence. Come walking straight out there toward that decoy, 20 yards from me. He never strutted or gobbled, but he got out there in that field. My buddy K-Wag was laying down on his belly on the side of the field with no cover in front of him. And I was up in the bushes. I could see stems and leaves in front of me. But the turkey was right there. And I let him sit out there and walk around for a minute before I pulled the trigger. And as soon as I pulled the trigger, he dropped, hit the ground. K-Wag jumped up. He was like, man, I thought you were never going to shoot. But
That adrenaline, man, when you're doing that, like it. That deer, when you laid Butterball down, me and you both laid deers down that day. Two good sized ones.
Right.
And that was my first deer that I killed.
So when y'all say Butterball, explain that a bit, I guess.
all right, so we had this deer on camera, and we had several pictures of it. He was a nice buck, really nice 8-point, heavy horn, wide, but he was fat. And that's why we named him Butterball, because he was such a fat deer. He was big.
Well, hold on though, because haven't we talked about that might have not actually been Butterball? Because wasn't there another one caught on camera later that was just as fat?
I don't know about that. That was Butterball. That was the deer we had on camera.
Because I know there's another one that K-Wag was kind of like, I don't know. We got another big one.
No, that was Butterball.
But he had, so I laid mine down first. I was in the stand for what, 15 minutes, 20 minutes?
Yeah, I heard you shoot, and I knew you. We were texting back and forth. You went back to the cabin. You left the deer there.
Yep.
You went back to the cabin.
Probably 30 minutes later,
It's longer than that. You shot your deer at 7:15 in the morning. It was after 9 o'clock before I shot.
I thought it was about 8:30 when you laid Butterball down.
Maybe, I don't know.
I remember going back to the cabin for a minute. Me and K-Wag heard a shot, and I texted you and was like, "Was that you?" And you're
I
like,
didn't get down. I
"I probably
shot
still
that
got the
deer,
text message somewhere." Butterball down, I think is what Danny texted. Butterball down. And I remember Danny's like, "Are y'all ever gonna fucking get here?" Because me and K-Wag like took our sweet precious time getting over there.
And I never got down. I sat in the stand, but when I shot Butterball, I seen him run off through the thicket, and then I seen him belly up before he crossed the creek. So I knew he was down.
The bad part about the Butterball situation was Danny was like, "Man, if you would have stayed in that stand just a little longer, probably Butterball will come from that direction. He would have walked past your deer stand that you were sitting inside of." He was like, "You could have had a twofer that day." But Danny wanted that fucking deer. He was on a mission.
So I mean, it worked out in the end. Then
He was on a mission. We had two good sized deer that day.
it's like they say it was meant to be.
Now, I've been hunting since then, have taken shots and have missed using the 30-30. But I know when I laid my deer down, Danny was like, she's probably not going to lay down, or whatever deer you shoot's probably not going to lay down immediately with that 30-30.
Right. You see a lot of them just take off almost.
Every deer I've ever shot with that gun has ran. It may not run here to the wall over there,
But they bleed out.
but they run a little
The
bit.
deer that I shot, she circled and laid right back where I shot her at. She didn't run at all.
She tried, but
She tried.
yeah.
I can't remember where I shot her at, but Butterball, I mean, he was ecstatic when he come off that damn stand. You could see like the adrenaline of like,
Well, that deer come up to my left, and it wasn't 10 yards from me. And I'm a left-hander, so my gun is this way, and the deer is that way. I'm sitting here like this, and I couldn't turn on the deer.
Right.
I couldn't move.
You'll spook them.
So I watched that deer and sat there and let it just kind of look around. I was thinking that deer's gonna smell me, he's gonna bust me. But the second that deer put his head down and started walking is when I moved and I started panning with the deer.
Yep.
And got right on him. And it wasn't, like I said, probably less than 20 yards, so it was such an easy shot.
Wow.
the adrenaline on them that stuff, dude. Like
you know,
I was visibly shaking whenever I shot mine, just because it was my first deer. And I feel like it's probably that same way. You still have those jitters and that adrenaline every time you get in that stand and you got something in your sight.
I try not to get excited until after I know that I've had success. And once I know that I've had success, it's time to get excited. But turkey hunting, it's a little harder to keep in.
Big ear guys, it's fucking good.
Because you can hear the bird 500 yards away gobble, and you can hear that gobble getting louder and coming closer. And it's hard to contain yourself.
So I don't want to kind of interrupt all this about, the hunting and stuff, but I do kind of want to get into what Lip is doing right now. We never had, dessert. I'm believing this is a pie, right, Lip?
This is a pecan pie. Yes.
So why do we bring a pie onto our podcast? Because you are our mixologist at this point. you got us the pie. I kind of want to hear from your standpoint, why are we bringing a pie?
I always love to bring things that pair with everything that we're drinking, eating, whatever, pairing it with. That's why I did a little research beforehand. Maker's Mark. It has caramel and vanilla notes, and a wonderful thing to pair with it is pecan. So the one dessert it said about was pecan. So that's why I also have the pecan ales as well. You got to try you one out over there.
I did. It was good.
That is very
I made
good.
BB try it too. I told him to take a sip of it.
Pretty
Yeah.
good. It's not bad, dude. Like that, the subtle notes of the pecan.
My exact words to him was like, if you drink this, I was like, when you drink your mix, I was like, it almost takes that heat away from it. Like it went with it.
Man, now that's what I like. Like, and that's why I drink the beers that I do, is because it's nice to pair thing. It's a very, to me, that's a very European thing. I would say it's a very European thing. Kind of universal, but very European in its own way as well.
So I was always taught, like, when it became to drinking, to kind of stay away from sweets. Because, like, it didn't really mix very well. But I also know with, like, pecan pie, well, it depends how you make it, I guess. But pecan pie is not really just a lot of sweet. A lot of it is just mainly the pecans and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was telling him about it when you brought it to our attention and stuff, that you were going to get a pecan pie for this one. I was like, this one might not be too bad. I was like, because it's mainly, pecans, it shouldn't be too sweet to, like, make you sick, with, drinking like a whiskey or so.
I don't know why you would think that pairing sweets with alcohol. What is alcohol? What does it take to make alcohol?
Sugar.
I've had bad experiences
most of the time.
myself.
Yes.
I mean, I've had bad experiences, like, with drinking and with dealing with sweets at the same time. So, like,
Maybe
I've learned
something's
that.
too sweet. I can see that.
Yeah, and I've also heard about it. So,
Like milk based.
that's a whole nother level.
Unless
That's a no.
But we are sticking to a whiskey,
know.
which usually you can kind of do, like with Irish whiskey, you can do the Baileys. It's got cream. You
Yeah,
know, that's
Dang, fat ass, you getting a big old piece, ain't you?
Be all right,
there's still a whole half a pie. You're good.
right?
It's very savory. This is really good. Like,
Everybody on camera gets, the half.
I don't know. He's got me thinking about meatball pecan pie. And this is an
You know
okay
that
pie.
yeah, it's not bad. That's good.
it does pair together.
Yeah, I mean, take a bite of the pie.
Exactly.
There is no doubt that it pairs together.
Yep. Wow. See, this is
I like
why I
that.
do this, guys. This is why I'm here.
That's
The burn
that's
actually
pretty amazing.
The burn kind of mixes in
That's
really.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
So I told BB this, when we first started hanging out with you. I was like, it's something about him when he gets to talking about, like, mixing stuff with certain ones. Like, you do your research. I was like, it's something about that. Like, we don't really go all that way. I was like, we need a mixologist for this.
I would have never thought it, but
Right.
it's
It's different, but it's good.
Imagine it
Glad
with
you
meatball
guys like
style,
it.
though.
Actually, make a toast to that. Thank you,
I'm
guys.
down. So, do you have any questions for us that maybe you've thought about, and you've watched a few of our episodes? You watched the SEFC thing that we did, which more to come on that. We're working. You'll actually probably get to come with us. We're gonna buy a table. It's gonna cost us about $500, but we're gonna buy a table, and 8 people can sit at that table. So of course we would love to have you and Missy and Meemaw at our table, but we'll be
sounds
live.
exciting.
We'll be live at the event again, like we were before. But do you have any questions for us that watching us for so long and supporting what we do? Do you have any questions?
And I say what I think, and most of that just comes off the top of my head whenever it happens. And I've said it while y'all were podcasting.
What was probably your favorite episode that you've watched? Who was your favorite guest that we've had on?
That's a good one.
The favorite guest.
One that you would like to probably see again, that you would definitely tune in and be like, yeah, I'm here just for that person.
Get Pele back on.
What have I been
We're,
saying?
we're working on the Pele situation. We're for sure working on the Pele situation. I still work at the place that Pele doesn't work at anymore. So it's kind of one of those things. And I told our boss yesterday that
There's a couple of guys that
I'd
work
like to
there
have-
I'd like to see on this podcast.
I would love to have Pele back, but man, I still work there.
So I have a question. I'm not sure how brought to your attention. I'm assuming BB told you that we're doing our podcast. But when you first heard that me and him were going to start doing a podcast, what was your initial thoughts on that?
Well, I was supportive. If it turned into something, then yeah, that's great. It don't have to turn into anything. Y'all just get out here and have fun and
That's
That-
exactly
that's
what
it,
it is.
yeah.
and talk.
It's a hobby. We enjoy
Mentality on
doing
it
it.
Yeah.
the whole time.
If we get famous off of it, that's a plus.
I mean, I'm having fun. I'm drinking whiskey.
As
I'm
big
eating a
as it
pie.
can be, that's just the cherry on top.
You know, I mean, we've got
Really,
we've got
it
we've got a
seems
little over
big in a
200
lot of other
subscribers.
people's minds.
We've got a little over 200 subscribers.
Like I said, it don't have to turn into nothing big as long as you're having fun and doing this. Then
Be yourself and act natural,
that's right.
and let things come to you as they go.
And
That's how
don't
fate. That's how
pregame.
fate goes.
Pre-gaming is a no-no. Do not pre-game for 3 drunks and a bottle. People mess up.
I'm sorry.
There's no preparation for this.
Well, no, pre-game and talking about like getting drunk before the podcast starts. A lot of people are under the assumption that like you should be drunk to come on.
No.
No,
This
and
is
really, we're not tore up.
So drunks unless you,
You know,
come on here.
the goal is
and
not
you're
to get
drunk.
tore up.
Show the bottle.
We would love for all of you. Now, this is 4 people.
I'm saying, like, yeah.
Half a bottle.
Can they see the because of the label? There you go.
This is half a bottle.
I mean, we knocked that
But
much
the goal
out.
is to actually just enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
Not to get just blitzed, tore up, and no one wants to watch someone like slurring their words and
Become
Exactly.
drunk, not
because they're drunk. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
We want to be drunk at the end of the episode, not during the
we
episode.
get drunk after the episode.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
towards the end of it, that's cool.
That's normally what
Not during the episode.
Quick note, did y'all realize how much I drank last week?
Yeah.
That was about 12 or 14 shots
we
of
know
vodka.
we know how you and old Timmy were last weekend. We absolutely know because we were the sober ones that weekend.
It felt like we were better
The only
off.
thing I don't remember is, dude, as soon as we fucking drove off from y'all's house, I don't remember anything else after that. I remember seeing y'all talking to y'all and everything, and they were like, bye, and then it's like,
The bad
I remember waking up being like, when the fuck did I get home? I was like, 12, 14 shots.
Those are the best nights
you
too. It's
and-
like
Oh, it's
I
great.
drink a lot.
You and
That was
fucking
good.
Timmy just like he'd throw the bottle up and be like,
Oh, we were taking
and so
Yeah.
y'all were just like,
Hell yeah.
boom, and y'all and me and Hunter just we're chilling with our beer, we're having fun, and then y'all 2 lovebirds were just y'all sat on the phone for 2 fucking hours.
Yeah, yeah.
And me and Hunter are sitting there, we're like, they're just going in circles.
We fell
They keep
asleep
telling
with
each
each
other,
other.
I love you, bro. I love you, bro.
So
I'm so glad you let me on the podcast,
So
bro.
Shout out to Timmy. Shout out to Timmy. I told you every podcast. I'm gonna shout out to you, Timmy. Shout out to Billy. We will get you to your blue note eventually.
we saved it for
Another
you,
live.
man.
Yeah, we're gonna save it for you on the
Come
live
down here,
broadcast.
Timmy. I'll get on here live and do it with you.
No, let's do it.
Timmy will be down for the New Year's special.
Oh, that's
Okay.
gonna be a great night.
He said
So
that
we
he
talking
would be here
about
for New
Blue
Year's.
Note when we say you're gonna do it with us? Because this is Timmy, and then there was Billy.
Yeah, Billy.
This isn't your last.
Billy won't be there. Billy just provided that.
Okay.
Billy wants to be here for if we do the chocolate wine.
Oh, okay. I keep
That's
getting
what
those
he
mixed
wants
up.
to be here for.
This,
Yeah.
this for
We won't
sure.
be here. We have like little things that pair with it and stuff like that.
This for sure won't be the last time you see Danny.
Nah.
I'm sure he's going to be on the. I'm sure he's going to be on the episode with K-Wag when we go down to the
I was like,
cabin.
we're gonna have more people. To this.
He'll be there for that one. He just said he wants to be there for the Timmy one. So
To me, guys, drinking some Maker's Mark, I felt a little funny. I was like, "There's something missing." As soon as we started eating that pie, dude, that like hits the spot.
Yeah.
Like that is how in the hell
I'm amazed.
How in the hell? I mean, if you want to eat something that goes well with it, food wise, you got, steaks. You got because it's a whiskey. Any whiskey's gonna go good with a steak. But pork chops, certain types of grilled fish. But when it said dessert, I was like, you know what? That sounds pretty southern. And then guess what? I pulled up to a southern ass home. There you go. Like that was.
A southern ass home.
So, what do you think about our mixologist? So, Danny,
Well, like I said, I'm from Eudora, so
We got the Beverly Hillbillies over here. They moved out of a double wide and moved on into a mansion.
I'm off Bobcat Ridge.
Missy rides on top of her Jeep in a rocking chair, just like old Granny
Lake of the
did.
Hills.
What, near Arkabola?
Lake of the Hills is in your door.
Lake of the Hills.
Up Bluff Road.
Yeah. Well, I lived on. That's where Bobcat Ridge is. Like when you go down Green River, and then you go down Watonga.
You lived on the other side of 304.
Yeah. You go down Watonga, and then you go down to where Black Bear is.
Oh, yeah.
There, the one right before that. It's in between Black Bear and Big Buck Ridge. Bobcat Ridge. That's where I was at. Right at the end on there on the right. It was a trailer that you could even see when you were going down Green River. You go down it and you can see it just right off the. I was
I
like,
got you.
yeah. Every time I'll be riding out to Tunica and stuff, I'm like, yep. That's
So-
where it was.
See it on the bluff.
so I don't want to interrupt y'all real
No,
quick.
go ahead, brother, go ahead.
We do have a little shout out, I think. The little dude's getting a little tired. This is BB's son, right?
Yeah, we got my co-executive producer over there. He tells us if the food's good.
Yeah, he's enjoying it.
You get some pecan pie.
I was gonna say, does he want some?
You want some?
I can cut him a little piece.
We got a whole half five.
Yeah, there's this.
Yeah, that looks like a perfect piece. There you go.
Ooh.
Ooh, yeah. That
Seems excited.
Yeah. And it's not. Nobody made this. I wish I would have warned them in time to tell them to make a pecan pie.
Meemaw
I'm
would've
pretty
made
sure
a
that
good
would have
one.
been even better. But
We're eventually having Meemaw on the podcast, which
Yes.
is Danny's mama. She
That
has
was great margaritas.
well, she has requested not to be on camera, but she doesn't want to do margaritas. She wants to do martinis.
She has 2 episodes.
I like mine.
She wanted to do
extra dry.
was it martinis and the Moscow Mule?
Extra
And yeah, the martinis and Moscow Mule. She wants to be there for both of those because she said she's never had a martini and that she's never had a Moscow Mule.
And now that we've kind of
I think
touched
she'll
base
like
on
a
a Moscow Mule, now that we've touched base on a Moscow Mule, it's kind of
I think with the martini, she wants to go vodka side, not gin side. So we could actually do the Moscow Mule and the martini
do
in one
that.
episode.
sounds good.
So, anyways,
2 birds, 1 stone.
man, I appreciate you being on tonight. I appreciate you hosting this and letting us be here and doing Maker's Mark with us. I feel like we've had a good episode.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I appreciate you and everything, being supportive of us and all of that stuff. So,
Appreciate you as well. Thank
It-
y'all.
Yes.
anything you guys got?
So you had just met Lip. What do you think about him being our mixologist?
Shout out to Missy real quick for her and her turkey meatballs.
Wait, who?
Missy.
Oh, Missy.
If we're doing shout outs on the dinner that we had tonight, shout out to Danny Moore for making that amazing spaghetti sauce. Something about that spaghetti sauce.
Peace among worlds.
I used
That's what Misty's
37
saying,
tomatoes
peace among worlds.
to make that
37.
sauce.
But
worked hard.
something about those turkey meatballs. They were a little dry, but that sauce was spot on.
Yeah.
Well,
sauce
there's
made
a
up for
story
it.
behind why they're
How many
made out
times
of
you heard of a
turkey.
wet turkey?
He's gonna tell you why. He's gonna tell you why they're not beef meatballs
Yeah.
and turkey meatballs.
There's a story behind why they're turkey meatballs, and she's got alpha gall, which is a tick-related disease. She was bitten by
A Lone Star
a
too.
Lone Star tick, and she is allergic to red meat.
And pork.
Anything that has hair on its back. So if it flies or swims, she can eat it. She would prefer it flying. She don't like it swimming too much.
I ate dolphin last Tuesday.
Now she couldn't eat that. That's a
That's a
mammal.
mammal, dude.
But it don't have hair on its back.
But it's red.
Really? Its meat is red like that?
It's a mammal.
Okay, so then she can't have tuna because its meat is red.
No, tuna is a fish.
But its meat is still red. That's what I'm saying.
No,
Like,
no,
that's
no,
what I
no,
tried
no,
tying
no.
in
Well,
earlier.
see,
What was
salmon-
that?
Look here, too.
Yeah, salmon. How does that work?
If it flies or swims,
She can't eat any mammals.
it can't be a she can't eat a walrus or nothing like that.
Okay.
But because they swim.
She couldn't eat whale. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
If it's a mammal, she
Gotcha.
can't eat it.
Got you.
It's got to be amphibian
Hey, we're learning.
or poultry.
That's what I like. I heard the hair on its back. I was like, hold up. Like, I ate dolphin once. Like,
She says she's allergic. Me and Danny have been trying to talk
She's
her
had it
into
for
trying
several years
some-
now.
some red
And,
meat. She won't do it.
When you read up on it, supposedly after so many years, it gets better. But
told her
she
not to.
has, she goes every year and gets these tests done, and it still says that she's got it. So we don't push it. I tease her, you tease her.
So I mean, it sounded like it's in her head type thing. Like she's
No, it's
going to
all
make
in
it
her
look
head.
fade.
It is all in
But
her
she's
head.
getting tested though.
No, it's all in her head.
And-
Her test came back a couple years ago that she was good to
if I had
go.
that, I'd go from Thor to Loki.
And then she said they retested her and said no. So
What was
I
that?
don't
said
eat
if I had
much
that
red
disease,
meat.
I'd go from Thor to Loki.
yeah, you only get red meat when you go to the cabin, pretty much.
No,
About it.
Not until they made Loki, like the actual show. That's when it got.
So we're gonna end this thing. Maybe we'll have Missy on one day. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm
We're
looking for
gonna end-
K-Wags.
We're
So.
gonna end this thing. We'll do another one here soon. If y'all are watching this, you already watched our 21st episode, which is our 1-year anniversary.
I think we did good.
So
We introduced our new little feature. Maybe you all see more of that. Maybe.
it's gonna be a cool little new feature. At this point, y'all seen it. We played a little bit of Drunken Mario on the 1-year anniversary.
We introduced him to Conker's
We do have
Bad Fur
Mario-
Day. Finally.
Yeah.
I do have Mario Kart 8. I have the original Nintendo 64
we're talking as if
Mario
we already
Kart.
did it, bro. Like this episode's not being recorded.
No, but I'm just saying.
Like we did it.
Okay,
We already did it.
We done it. We did it. I did it.
Well, until next time, I'm the Delta BB.
I'm Hunter.
This is Lip.
see y'all later.
Yeah, no Danny or nothing.
See y'all later.
Y'all know who
Get the fuck out of my house.
You know the hell I am. They already fucking introduced me and everything. Damn. Okay.
You couldn't do that again if you tried.
I know. I
Get
couldn't
the
have.
hell out of my
You know,
house.
We'll catch y'all later.
Blind pork.
Drunken antics.